Hi, Peru. It's so lovely to have you here.
Thank you, Anne, for having me here.
Yeah, it's great. And of course, we're lucky we've got the sun
Yes.
today, and that always makes us feel better. I just wanted to ask you, do you remember that first time we met?
Yes.
We must be talking a few years ago now, 25, 30 years
Yes.
ago in Malaysia. And I'll never forget the phone call I had from you. I'm just an ordinary Indian housewife, right?
Right.
You said, but I can see auras.
Auras.
Yes, and I thought, my goodness me, there's nothing ordinary about this lady. So you came over to my house then, and we
Correct.
talked about energy and
Energies.
aura. So this is a repeat after all that time.
Yes.
So lovely.
Lovely.
So I just wanted to sort of to remind us both of how we started, because there's so many people I'm meeting these days who are saying, what do you do? How does it work?
Yes.
They want to be healers.
Yes.
They want to help their families and so on. So I just wanted to ask you, how did you start, and how did you realize that you could see these amazing energies?
Like I keep watching these clients of mine and people around me, and I was watching these lights, moving around them, the magnetic field for each one of us, things, trees, plants, animals and everything. So when I came to see you, you gave me the confirmation. I was also feeling that probably something is wrong with my eyesight also.
Yeah.
Then that confirmation made me you like a mentor, to give me that thing. Because I was more towards the Divine Mother, doing my healing more with Divine Mother and everything. And once I start moving in this path of watching the aura and seeing the aura and feeling the energies and learning more and more and more of these experiences I had for the last 26 years with people, So I start to realize that that's more towards why not share this with everybody, share it to the world, bring people into an awareness of who you are and what you are, by feeling the energies within. Energy is not only within, it's actually outside too. You can call it existence, which is actually within and it's outside. So feeling this within you, it brought me a lot of happiness, and I got a passion for the work I'm doing with my people out there.
Great, and I guess then you can just relax and
Yes.
enjoy it rather than be worried about whether this is right, wrong,
Right
or
or
whatever.
wrong, yes.
Well, that's the feeling I had when I met you. I knew that you were very special, and you had a special gift to bring. But I think everybody has this special gift
Yes,
too,
everybody.
and it's just a matter of really waking up to it.
Correct.
I know, my wake up was quite sudden and quite interesting, and I could say a little bit spooky, really.
Yes.
But I was living in Malaysia, and this was about a year before I met you, I think.
Yes.
I'd always been in a technical job. I mean, I'm an artist now, and I love writing. So I guess that that side of me hadn't really come out at that time. But that time I was working in the computer industry, and when I came to Malaysia, I had to give up my work to be with my husband there, and I was teaching the expat women how to use computers, and I had a rest one day, and I went upstairs and just sitting on my bed, and I heard a voice. Now, you and I have talked about this since,
Yes.
that we often hear voices. We're not mad. And we know a lot of other people
Yes.
that also hear voices. And these voices, of course, are this existence, this external energy that you're talking about. And the voice told me that it was time for me to start healing. Why hadn't I, basically? It was a little bit bossy, that voice. And it gave me the name of a person to go and speak to. And it was like a telephone conversation. And I went to see that person, who's still in Malaysia now, Sally. And she said, well, I went up to her and I said, I've been told to talk to you about healing. And she said, about time too. I've been waiting for you. And she'd been having voices and communication with the guides, the spirit guides. And, we know that these beings exist. the beings of light that help us with our healing, guide us, and everybody as the guides and help. I think our role is often to pull them together, to get people aware. And anyway, Sally just told me, you know how to do this. All you've got to do is think of the love. And, you know, we talked earlier about this, that once we think about our hearts and love, that's all we need. And then the connection, energy just flows.
Yes, true.
And that's the simplicity of healing. But yes, I wanted to ask you, these lights and colours that you see, perhaps you could just share a little bit about that.
Okay. For example, while we are having a talk here, I'm looking at you while you're talking. So as I'm looking at you, I'm looking at your forehead as you're talking. So as I close my eyes, I can see your aura with the background of these greens, trees, the wind blowing, you know, and you there. The form of your head, you know, the color which you are having, more of greenish, purple, orange. And the colors are all like a form of a person sitting there, and you have all these colors surrounding you beautifully. So same like this, every living beings, every humans, we have this color, the seven colors they are talking about. But when I am talking about the colors, I'm not just talking about one color. For example, we said forehead chakra. The forehead chakra is more of purple, green, violet, and all these colors. I'm talking about each colors have got 5 different types of colors. Like if I'm seeing green, the green can be 5 different greens. The red can be 5 different reds. The orange can be 5 different orange. The yellow can be 5 different colors. So all these are mixed up in our aura, on the outer layer of our aura, the physical body and the spiritual body, the soul body which is inside. So we have 2 bodies. To me, with my experience, I just feel that we have 2 bodies. We need to connect to this physical body and the spiritual body together. We need to have an alignment. So we can't be thinking always from the mind. We need to also feel the heart. So we combine the mind and the heart together. So with this, we know that we are one. The alignment is one. We're not separating the physical body because it's a vehicle for us, and the spiritual body. Together we are one. So when we feel the oneness within, the happiness within, everyone, whether it's negative or positive, we need to go into this journey of experiences. So the way we look into it, the way we feel it, the way we're accepting it, the way we are letting it go plays a role.
I totally agree with that. And I know when I'm healing, I don't see the colours.
Yes.
But what I do is when I make that connection, and it has to be given permission, let's put it this way. I can't just go rushing up to someone and fiddling around with their energy. I mean, that would be a terrible thing to do. But once someone has said, I need some help, then I start immediately to start opening up to that person. So not only am I connecting to their spirit, but their whole energy field. And it's then that I start to feel what's wrong, in the sense of nothing's really wrong, it's just that it's not in balance, it's not thriving, it's not a joyful part of the person. So as you would see the colour that shows you, and like you say, any shade of that will tell you there's something not quite right, I will feel it. And then I start to sense what could be the cause. And I'm always looking for the root cause of a problem with something like this. So it'd be looking for, why has this person got this illness? Or why is this person unhappy? Why can't this person be happy? You know, most people come to me and say, oh, I just can't be happy. And there's things that go round and round in my head, like you said, the mind. And then I look for why it might be. And it very often is one of the experiences, or many of the experiences that they've gone through in this or previous lifetimes. And of course, these experiences that we go through are helping us grow and and flourish as
Yes,
spiritual
spiritual.
beings, but unfortunately they make it quite hard for us as human beings.
human beings.
So we're looking to clear that pain, clear the memory that
Memories.
can get stuck in the aura,
Yes.
get stuck in the body, and then that's the trigger is for me to use energy, high frequency energy, love, to clear it.
Clear it.
So when you sit and see a person, you often talk about these black dots.
dots,
I
okay.
guess these are like the imprints that I see of the
Imprints,
memories.
correct.
So how do you handle those?
When these people come in, and this person will have these black dots around their aura. So when I zoom in into the forehead chakra, and I will see the spots of black dots around them, surrounding them. And the first thing I'll ask, what's your health issues? Okay, your state of mind. Your state of mind is very important. You can have health issues, but the way you are accepting it is very important of who you are. So the way you look into yourself, I teach them to pray through the heart area. Put your hands on the heart area and ask for forgiveness. I feel forgiveness is one of the most important things in shifting these energies.
Absolutely.
You know, the colors of the aura. So these black dots are small, tiny sizes. You know, it can be like 4 to 5 dots in a person's aura. So I will ask them to ask for forgiveness as they go to bed and as they wake up. And when they keep on doing this for a couple of days or months, and they themselves have come back to me and said that I feel so much better.
Yeah.
You see? So these dots are very, very, from where it's coming, I wouldn't know. But I know it's all from space. We have black dots, we have color lights, blue lights, black dots with rings, you know, black dots with white rings, black dots where, you know, it might not be a black dot, can be a spot of black dot, you know, where it has got no shape, but it's tiny on it. So when I clear for them these black dots, sending them towards the light, asking for forgiveness, it's not I am doing the healing. Here I play a role that I'm a tool.
Yes, I
You know,
see that.
I've been taken over and I'm doing the healing for the person.
Yeah, and of course the person has to allow that to happen as well. So when the right time is there for
Yes.
them, they're prepared to let something go.
Go.
Yeah, now I guess when I connect to them, I'm connecting to that energy that you
Energy.
see as that
Correct.
black dot, but then I will see the visual, because I'm quite visual anyway, because I write and have
Yes.
imagination and so on. I actually see a past life, and I will often see something where they may have a problem with abundance, for example.
Yes.
And then I might see them in a past life struggling with money, being poor, and somehow that in that lifetime they didn't overcome it, they didn't learn to find the joy in life, that they've carried that imprint of poverty with them, and then I can say, well, let's clear that past life.
Yes.
Let's turn it into a positive. Let's take the wisdom from it. And then, like you, I clear it and send it off. So we're doing the same thing. We're just doing it in we're seeing it differently. I guess we're doing it the same thing, but we're just seeing it differently. And then it's quite important for people to be able to do this for themselves.
Yes, self-healing.
I think we're both very much on this, that we don't want to be the gurus that people come to all the time. We really want people to learn how to be heart conscious, how to clear these old energies for themselves.
Teach them to how to master this energy yourself. You know, by doing it to your own body, your physical body, how you talk to your physical body, how you sort of feel the energies of your body is very important. I teach them to feel energies. So when they keep on, I give them like homework.
Yes.
Go to bed, feeling your energies, using your hands, wake up, feeling your energies. So your connection with yourself is very, very important for them to grow.
Definitely. Well, yes, and caring for yourself.
Yes.
You know, once you start to see yourself as somebody that needs care and attention, and your body. I think one of the things that we do, and I'm guilty of this, is, you know, once I get going on something, I just that's it. I'm full on, full pelt, and don't stop. And I've just been recently stopped, and I've been told I have to rest now and heal myself, because 35 years of full on working. It's taken its toll, I guess, on my body, and I haven't looked after it. I mean, I feed it well, and I do have holidays, but it's that shutting off completely, which we talk about when we meditate or when we have a quiet moment. Now, when I got told to start healing, or was directed to start healing, when I spoke to Sal, she said, I've been waiting several months for you to come to me, because she'd been told by her guides some time before. And we discussed this, and the reason why I hadn't got the message before was I've been too busy. I've been too busy doing and not being just relaxed and in the moment, as we talk about, just being present. I was that particular day, because I was a little bit tired, I just relaxed and was in that present moment, and then I could get the message. And I'm sure in the modern world, it's the problem for so many people. They don't make the divine connection anymore because they don't have time. They don't give it time.
They do things all in the mind.
Yeah, so we would suggest to anybody who ever listens to our whatever we have to say for the world, is that one of the important things is to find time just to be present, to focus on the heart. And we've both done lots of meditations that we've recorded to help people with that. But yeah, it's an important thing. But we have to remember to do it ourselves as well. Yeah.
Have a space for ourselves too, as we're, moving on.
Yeah.
As well as for those who want to know more, try to have a diary of your life, or whatever you're doing, whatever you're planning. Let it be anything. A paperwork will be very helpful. Put it in paper.
Journaling.
Like a journal, correct. So when you go to bed, bedtime is very important. Bedtime is the only space you have with your energies, and your energies connecting with the universe. You are a mini universe, and the bigger universe is out there.
And the other thing that I've learned over the years is how important two things. One is to have an intention for something to happen. So an intention to heal, an intention to achieve whatever you want, to have that quiet moment, set the intention of what you want, but and then just to allow it. And the other thing I've learned is to ask for help.
Correct.
I have a group that I spend time with every month, and we talk about healing and so on. And I keep repeating myself on this. When you have a problem, ask for help. If you can't find the help on a physical level, you haven't got access to you for help, or you haven't got access to someone who you can trust to help you with these things, ask for divine and whatever your sense of divine is, whether it's God or it's a divine feminine or it's universal energies, whatever feels right, just ask. Now, I've just had an example of that. I've been in hospital recently, and twice I felt this is a time for me to ask for help, big time. And when I did, I got an almost immediate response both times. Once I was in a lot of pain, and I asked for help, and within minutes, out of nowhere, the nurse came and they said, we're now going to put you on morphine, and said, thank you so much, and thanked the nurse. And then I had a problem with having a cannula fitted, and I had a wonderful experience where in the middle of the night, a lovely old man came to me in the night to fit a cannula. I don't know whether he was real, whether he was an angel, or whether it was just at that time on duty. But thankfully, he put a cannula in the first time ever without pain and without jabbing me all over. So these are things that I've asked for recently, and instantly I got a response. So, it's just another thing just to remember, really, isn't it?
Because your connection with the divine is very powerful.
Absolutely, yeah.
So it makes let's work more towards within more, wishing for whatever we want to from within and existence which is outside. So that's why the help was more faster.
Yeah, absolutely perfect. And also, I feel that we could all do this at any time, just ask. And this isn't sort of a begging or type of a thing. It's you could talk to God like you talk to your friend, and we're talking to each other. Yeah, so important. But it is difficult because we're humans and we're in a very reality-based world where, and it's a fast-moving world.
Right.
But the energies are always there for us.
And not only the energies, it's just that when you're connected to these energies, you feel there's a sound which comes along with them. You know, a kind of a sound, a kind of lights, something is happening, like a touch is there, that feeling, you know. And once you are connected, your confirmation of what this energy is all about is there. The feeling you have. So what I do is I share my experiences with people and I teach them to feel energy, to go within and to talk, open up. You know, if you can't open up to your loved ones, probably somebody else outside home. You know, get a mentor. You know, an aunt, you know, uncle, whoever you like and admire and respect. You know, you have somebody to talk to bring out, you know, whatever your feelings.
Yes, definitely.
You need people. You need people around you.
You do.
You need your families and you need friends. You know, then you feel that your whole self is one.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
You definitely need to speak it out.
Yes.
Also, one thing I've learnt works really well for me and a lot of people I've taught, and that is writing down whatever is troubling you and then burning it.
I did that from you.
I know, it's my favourite thing, my little favourite trick.
I did that.
It works so well. It always works. It's just amazing. It's getting it out. These black dots, these bad experiences from the past, and getting them out, and it just works every single time.
True.
I've been doing that for myself this year.
And whatever act we are doing, an act of taking a coffee, an act of eating a biscuits, and when we feel that feeling we have about the coffee, you know, no thoughts of thinking this is negative or this is positive. That feeling of enjoying that moment.
Being mindful, I think they call it
mindful.
now. They've got a name for it now.
So you get excited about your morning breakfast, your coffee, one coffee, or one tea, or maybe 2, 3. But whatever you're doing, that feeling of that energy have to be there. That's energy. Everything is energy. The coffee, the biscuits, whatever is surrounding us.
Absolutely. You know, because I had a very near-death experience this year, from that moment, everything has had a supercharge to it. And I've sat in this garden and I've just watched the birds and I've cried from the joy of seeing the birds. I mean, it sounds a bit sloppy, but it's exactly what has happened because I'm connecting more to what's around me. I've got time to connect. And that's what we need to do. We have more time to connect. Even if we just allow 5-10 minutes a day, that's really important. And I've learnt that myself. Very important that, make that connection. And of course, we've talked about this before, but gratitude, you know, being grateful for what we have rather than worrying about what we haven't got. And that's all part of this help of keeping you in the heart rather than in the mind. Very important.
And attachments.
Oh yes, that's another thing. Yes, we've just letting go a home that we've had for holidays, and people have said to me, how can you let it go? I said, well, it's a time in our life we're getting to the point where it might be difficult to get down there and lots of reasons. But what I'm quite good at doing this because I've moved so many times. I think there's all the memories of that are with me. They never go. They'll always be with me. They're part of my consciousness. And they'll always be there. So I can let go. I'll always have a few tears because, I mean, we're human. We are allowed to have tears. But then letting it go and being attached to, well, anything as far as the extreme of addiction, all the way through to not being able to move forward. Yeah, We have to do that.
Yes.
And you've been through this with losing your beloved husband.
Yes, my late husband.
Yeah, and you've allowed him to move on, and it's
Well, for me, he's still always around me.
well, of course that's the
It's
thing,
energy.
isn't it? Yes.
I feel that it's an energy. So
Yes.
it's part of our energy. So I'm just moving on, just trying to work and share my experiences with people out there, and feeling that existence of is always with us.
I think it's really important because grief is one of the things that hurts people the most, and if you can accept and have an understanding that this energy that's what we are
Yeah.
never goes.
True.
And it's interesting because I had an experience with angels once in a church in India. It's a long story. I won't bore you with the whole story, but one of the things that happened there was I was shown into my heart. They in a sort of like a form of meditation, these angels said, "We're going into your heart now." So as I went into my heart, the first thing I saw was my father that had passed. And I realised then he's always there. So anybody that we've allowed into our hearts is always with us.
Yes.
That's good. So it's a helicopter going over, I think. Yeah, so I think it's helpful when you can trust this.
Yes.
This, but once you've felt the energy or seen it as you do, it changes you.
Changes
It
us.
does change you, and you see things in a different way, and makes life easier. I think.
Life's easy.
Yeah, and you know, when I start talking to people, I say, do you ever get what I call the whoosh? Now, the whoosh is when you get that feeling. That,
Yes.
I don't know.
That feeling.
Yeah, I use the word whoosh, but the bell of truth or whatever they call it as well, people get a sense of a feeling that flows through them, that they know it's the truth.
Current. We call it a current, you know.
Yes, and it comes when you have a spiritual moment. It can happen when you're asleep. When you're asleep, you can have that comes in a dream. But I think it also is always when you touch on the truth.
Correct.
Yeah, and it's quite important to acknowledge that. Yes. And the body just acknowledges it as well, so that's good.
Correct. When you're in a deep sleep, especially when you're in a deep sleep, you know, you can feel more. You are asleep, you know things are around you happening. You can feel the air around you. You can feel probably something is there in the room, a presence in the room. But that feeling when we are going in is so beautiful.
I suppose we're relaxed then, aren't we, Paru? As we go into sleep, we're surrendering our sort of humanness, all the tensions of life. We tend to surrender at that critical moment as we go into sleep. So probably why it's such an important time.
Important time.
Well, you've got a little exercise you show people to do before they go to sleep.
Yes.
Can you show us?
On the bed. You know, I teach them to play with their toes, lift it up, down, before bed. You know, as you wake up, also the same method. And I do some small exercises I practiced for years. Tiptoe, coming out of the room, tiptoe, few minutes, tiptoe, and then on my heels, I tiptoe on my heels. So this gives you alignment of the energies in your body. Morning itself, you know, you'll be having a bad mood. You know, don't look into the first thing in the morning, feeling you're not good. You don't feel good. Switch that thought. No, I'm happy. I'm glad. I had a good sleep. Even though you don't have good sleep, don't deposit it into your mind. You know, of negative and positive thoughts. Just accept it and move on out of the room.
Yeah. So you're almost like throwing a switch, a positive switch.
Yes.
Yeah, that's great advice. Yeah, no, and I mean, I'm naturally quite a positive person, which is easy for me. But there are people that are pessimistic and worried and anxious, and for them, it really is important to learn to find that switch. Force yourself almost to see the positive in something. Well, there's usually a positive in everything. I mean, even when I was in this state of being ill, I noticed that there was a great camaraderie in the hospital where I was, and it was an opportunity to share with and help other people,
Other
in
people,
even in
yes.
that situation. And I thought, well, there's the kindness of humanity, and people are really basically kind. That was a positive thing. And there were lots of funny things that happened in the hospital. One of the funny ones was, this is just how I lifted myself up when I was there. I laughed about it so much. Where I was in hospital, there was a lake beside the hospital, and it was warm. It was in July, and the doors were open. And one morning, I was lying there, and I was feeling a bit down, and I suddenly saw these 2 ducks walk into the ward, and they walked right down the ward, and then they pooped, and then they walked out again, just roaring with laughter. And the nurse said, what made you so cheerful?
So
I said,
naturally.
I've just seen these ducks, and that's made my day, But those are the sort of little things you can look at. Not that you're going to see too many ducks walking into your home, I shouldn't think, but there's always something, isn't there? Even in the worst circumstances, there's always something that you can lift yourself up with. That's good.
When you're so deeply ill at that moment, you have a smile on your face coming. So that lifts us up. It's energy for lifting it up.
Yeah, that's right.
So everything around us, when you watch and look, these trees here, the grass, the color of the aura of the grass, as you close your eyes, the lights we are seeing all over. We are being of lights.
Do you think you can teach people to see the colors?
Can.
Have you done that?
I've done that. There are people who can see. Even if they want to go deeper and deeper into see, they need to do some sort of homework of who they are, how they think about everything around you, how you watch. You're an observer. Most of the time I'm an observer. I will observe them talk, the way they talk, the words they use in between relationship. You know what I mean? I don't like this. I don't like this. I'm so and so. So I will just watch them, and I will see the movement of that aura moving. And I'll also watch people who are getting angry. On the forehead itself, the color of red will be coming in. So I've been watching it for the last 26 years and observing people, the way they talk.
So we should suggest to other people just look a little bit more intensely, or open their inner eye, if you like, to what they're seeing.
And there are people who are so sensitive with things around them, like they feel they're left out. Actually, every moment there's a lesson for you. You're not aware, you're going into a lesson. By being emotional, by being sensitive, you can't get along with people. When you can't get along with people, you can't get along with yourself. So feeling and knowing your energies is very, very, very important. If you love yourself, you definitely can love everybody around you, accepting them as what they are. Why a situation happens like that.
Yeah, I know that there's quite a lot of people are troubled by the energies around them, and in the workplace particularly, or in the home. I mean, a lot of people live in very inharmonious homes, and I always teach them to sort of protect that energy until they get to the point like you are, where you can rise above it, and maybe at myself, or we can maybe rise above the energy. In that meantime, before you get there, you need a few tools. And I've written books about this. But this particular thing I think is useful is to put yourself in some sort of bubble. And your mind, this is the intentions working again. When you intend, it happens. So you intend, you're surrounded. I use a blue flame, which is from one of our archangels, Archangel Michael. But you could use anything that shields you. You can use a waterfall, you can use a bubble, anything. But put something around you so that other people's energies don't affect you. Then you can control what you feel better. Yeah, I think it's a basic thing that I wish people would learn this in schools, you know. Why don't they teach it in school? How not to be
Practical.
affected by that little brat over there that keeps sending bad vibes at you, and you want to get on with your life and your work, and you just
True.
learn how to, and I've actually find children are really, really good at learning this stuff, you know. I've taught them meditations. They've loved
Loved it.
Absolutely loved it. And it's, you
And
know, there's a
feeling
lot of
about their
stress
own
for
energies.
children now.
Let them feel, they can
Yeah,
feel.
teach them how to feel the energy, teach them how to see the colours,
Colours,
you know,
yeah.
but importantly, how to manage their minds,
Mind.
not to be overwhelmed, and to see the light side of life, you know. We're in a very challenging time, I think, at the moment. My belief is that we're going through a huge transformation in the world,
Right.
and we are going into the light. We're
Right.
going into a fifth dimension. We're going into a higher state of
frequency.
consciousness, however you want to describe it. But of course, when you shift from one thing to another, that the old energy wants to hold on,
Correct.
and we can see that around the world.
Right.
Without getting political, you can see it going on. And this is a time, even more importantly, for us to keep to the light side.
To the light side, and to have our thoughts, you know, the world thoughts are very important of who we are and what we are, surrounding us and everything. If our thoughts are in a nice alignment, you'll find that there's so many things might not be happening.
Yes.
It's just like a family. We start off with a family, you know, that space we have in a family, understanding each other. We start off from a family, then from there we move further towards the world. So we have something, an aura where to be in balance with a lot of people around us. So we're talking about frequencies of energies which is surrounding us, surrounds the world. The same alignment, thoughts we have.
So it's up to us as individuals
Yes.
to do it. You know, we can't change what's going on the other side of the world, but we can influence what's going on for ourselves.
We can pray.
And we pray, that's another thing. Well, that's another thing that's a great gift. We talk about healing, and one of the things that I learned very early on was how, and I found it most exciting of all, was I could send energy to somebody who was on the other side of the world even, and they would get the benefit.
Yes.
And I know you do a lot of this, and I've set up a whole organisation. Hearts and Hands Healing is still running strong. Through my website, people can put in a request, and the healing goes out to. We've got over 500 healers on the list. This is a way of sending that energy that we were talking about out to whoever we want to put as a focus. And we can focus on where there's wars and upsets. We can send energy there. And I remember when I was living in Malaysia, my friend Jen said to me, there's a gentleman in a hospital, and he's in a ward that they call the terminal ward, which I thought was a terrible thing to call it anyway, but they did. And he had a brain tumour, and she said, would you send some healing? And I said, well, I didn't know him, but I had his name, and I sent healing, and I use symbols as a way of a language for healing. So when I draw a particular symbol, that the intention of that goes directly to the person. And within a month he was walking out of there completely healed. And that was fantastic confirmation for me that what we can do is we can do this from a distance. So that energy that we're talking about can be manipulated, if you like, can be directed wherever we want it to be. And that everybody can do that.
I do that too. During the time of COVID, I used the WhatsApp. Ask them to selfie their picture, their name, father's name, date of birth. I scan from the WhatsApp that person, scan and see the aura, check the aura, and I send light to them. And the feedback was very, very, very good.
It's amazing, isn't it? Yeah, and you know, when we get a lot of people doing it together, we can can we not change the world? Can we make the energies
A better
lift?
place.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, it's what we want to do, isn't it? Bring more light into the world, really.
True, true.
Generally, that solves a lot of the problems. Yeah.
Yes.
Wow, fantastic. Yeah, we've all had some very interesting times, haven't we?
Yes.
Aren't we lucky? We're so lucky.
Very, very lucky. Blessed
Yeah, very blessed.
with beautiful
Yeah.
lights, beautiful energies, beautiful people.
And of course, the other thing that I've noticed is that the more I manage to get myself into the sort of centered and loving space, the more the lovely people I meet.
Yes.
You know, it's like
The same
a magnet.
frequencies.
You know, you
We are
become a
meeting
magnet.
the same frequencies of people.
Yeah, yeah.
More.
Do you find the same?
Yes, same.
It's lovely, isn't
Same,
it?
same. More,
It's
more
really
towards the purple green auras.
purple green. See, that's lovely. I love the
Yes.
fact you've got a colour. See, I paint and I can understand all those different shades of
Yes.
colour, but I don't see it. It's very frustrating when you say this, Paru. I want to be able to see it. But I do know that we do become magnets.
Yes.
And we bring people closer. And not just people, but situations. You know, don't you find that?
Yes.
You know, you find that good things happen to you.
Happen to you.
Well, you're here. That's good. You're here. That's made me happy. Those are good things that happen. Yeah,
Just
that's
came
really good.
a very long way to have this wonderful time to spend it with you.
Yes, that's so
It's
good.
beautiful.
So good. Yeah. Got some
All
building
those
work going
feelings
on.
we had with people when we were there in Malaysia, it really, you know, worked a lot for people out there.
Yeah. Are you planning any courses or workshops?
Yes, workshops in the future. I'll be having more workshops and more thoughts, you know, and more practical. I want to do it more practical. Then talking, I want them to feel this energy. Give
Yeah.
them homework. Go back, do it.
Feel
Work
it,
with the
feel
heart.
it. Yeah.
So whatever questions you ask from the heart and feel it. There'll be a difference.
Have you ever used a pendulum?
Nope. I have a pendulum, but I'm not used to. I use my hand as a pendulum. So
Yes.
wherever I go, I can feel things.
Yes.
I can feel
Yes, you
things.
don't need the pendulum. But for people who haven't got that
Yes.
finer gift of
Finer
yours,
gift.
you can use a pendulum with crystal, and as long as you sort of clear your energy first, and by that we just bring in light
Yes.
and clear and protect our energy. You can then use a
Yes,
pendulum
pendulum, yes.
to ask questions and
questions.
get guidance and yeah.
If
That's
they
quite,
don't have a pendulum, they can use the heart area. Asking the question, can you please guide me? I need this help. You'll find that the help will be there.
do you know, I will always believe in that asking for help, but there's another one where you can stand, and if the answer is yes, you find you tilting forward, and the answer is no.
Yes.
So we can use our bodies and our bodies speak to us all the time, you know.
Yes.
So yeah, you know, people can always have to ask your body. Is what I'm doing for you right?
True.
You know, and the body speaks if it doesn't. It's been speaking to me. It was very much. I had to stop. I wasn't listening to that. I was planning the next thing. I didn't want to stop, and then I broke a bone in one foot. I carried on. Broke a bone in the other foot. Then I got cancer.
It's just like
will she
it's just like
stop?
a vehicle. Yeah, like a vehicle, like a car.
I know. I wasn't giving it its MOT, or I wasn't doing the service. And then eventually, I got pneumonia, and then okay, right, I get it. I've got to stop. And then I got the whooshes and the whooshes because I always felt I ought to be doing things. You know, that's always my bête noire. These words are ought to, should do, must do.
Must do.
They're banned from me now, absolutely.
Yes.
Because I was driven, you know.
Correct.
Oh, I must do another 10 workshops, write another 10 books, be on another 20 Zooms. And now I'm just enjoying this, having time with you like this.
With the coffee.
With a coffee, which is
Let's have
going
it.
cold. So I think we
Yes.
should drink our coffee, yeah.
Oh,
Yeah. It's got a bit cold, I think. Too much talking and not enough drinking.
yes,
Okay.
it's beautiful.